Hello everybody, welcome back to Santa's Workshop. Today we are going to be doing an unboxing, a install, and a review of Alloyworks replacement radiator for the 79 Caballero. I'm not going to leave this stock engine in the car. I've got something special going in. Y'all know that by now. And this radiator is going to go with that motor so nice. But I want to do a install of this, show you how well it goes in, how well it looks, and we're going to get it fired up and running. And this thing still ain't running the best in the world, but we'll be able to heat it up and make sure the fans come on and everything like that. So hang with us. I'm going to get you going on the unboxing and we'll get this thing installed. Let's get to it. All right, I've already unboxed this thing to make sure there was no damage, and they had it packed pretty doggone good. I want you to look at this beauty. Isn't that pretty? Oh, that is some good tape now. Lay this down here very gently. Alright, got that off there. You can see how nice and pretty that thing is. The welds look phenomenal. And I want to tell you, this is not lightweight aluminum. It is some heavy stuff. Let's take a look at our... I want to get you a little bit closer here. I want you to look at that. That is some nice, thick gauge aluminum. Fans look phenomenal. They are a high flow. I was going to leave that off. We're going to be putting that on here in just a minute anyways. And one thing this has an advantage over the stock one, it has an actual pitcock. Good solid brass pitcock, will not rust out. I mean, this thing is just a beast. It's got two ports on here for whatever you want to use them for. We're just going to be using these. Now then, this is our little accessory pack that comes with it. It has your water temperature sensor, which that will go somewhere on the block. I'll have to find a spot to put that. All brass, very nice. And I want to say I saw somewhere that this is a 190 temp. Oops. Comes with all your connectors, relay, fuse. Alrighty, first thing we want to do is remove the fan. when we get this fan off, we are going to put these nuts back on because this fan will not be going back on. I cannot wait to get that other motor ready and get in here. My plans are to get a B&M 350 turbo shift kitted to go behind it, and eventually I'm going to get a Positrack rear axle for this, or at least a Positrack carrier. There we go. And that fan clutch is a little loose, so it was about to go anyways. And I'll just put all these nuts back on here, tighten them down. That way, one, we don't lose them, and two, these belts won't come flying off with that pulley when I start it up and forget about putting them back on. Okay, that is out of the way. Now then, I have to undo this. I've already got the bottom hose off and the radiator drained. We'll be putting the clamps on. Top seal was walking on me, so it's a pretty bad itself. Top seal, top outlet. Let's see. Are they 10 millimeter? Yes, yes they are. Okay, next thing I need to do is get this undone. cold air intake is going bye-bye as soon as I get this radiator out, because I do not need that no more. Alright, what I've been doing here is working on getting the transmission lines undone. Somebody has rounded them off a little bit, so yeah, they're being fun coming out, but we will get them, no problems. Alrighty, we got the trans lines undone. Going to gently move this. And of course, that's attached at the bottom. Forgot about that. Feels like a 10 millimeter. And once more back to where nobody can see. Okay. And that's a bye-bye. As you can see right here, this thing has been leaking for a little while, but this is one of those old actual brass radiators. This monster is heavy. Alrighty, let's get some wiring done on this thing. And I watched the little installation video, and he suggested that you want to do 2 relays when you have dual fans. And it makes sense because the wires just are not thick enough. So, what I want to do is I'm going to wire this thing for 2 relays. I have ordered another one off of Alloyworks. You can get just the relay kit. And we're going to attach 2 relays onto this. But the ground wire itself is, you can put them together without no problem. Went and got my new favorite little toy. These are heat shrink butt connectors. I love these things. Not only is it see-through where you can see what you're doing, you can heat shrink it, that way you don't get no moisture inside it as well. They make these easy to get into. Not. Okay, what I'm going to do, since I do not know the length of the ground wire, I am just going to get me a length from this and attach it to it. That way I can just cut off what I need when I find out exactly where my ground's going to go. Put me a little wire loop right there to contain the wire. Keep it from getting all sloppy everywhere. Peel those back. All nice and sealed up. Now then, that's going to look good. Get our blue wire out here. Now we'll need 2 lengths of this, so I might as well just give me a little excess. Figure out how far out. I'll go over to the firewall. Don't want to short myself. What I want to do, I'm just going to leave this wire hooked together until I get my relays done. And I can That wind is kicking it today. Trying to get that cold weather coming in. But it's Oklahoma. We'll be running the air conditioner today and the heater tomorrow. And I have ordered a overflow bottle very similar to the one I put on the Mustang way back at one of my first videos on this channel. If y'all are interested in watching that one, go back and check it out. But we're going to put the same thing on this. I've got an overflow bottle that is in good condition, but it just doesn't look as good as that polished aluminum does, so we're going to be replacing that as soon as it comes in. And hopefully I'll get it and that new relay at the same time, and we can finish out this video as soon as it comes in. There we are. Okay. Oh. Pick this bad boy up and see if we can set her down in there. Yes, my breathing is still, sounds like I'm about to croak, but it is just typical good old Oklahoma sinuses. All right, I think that little bugger sets right in. I'll push that on there to hold it. Now then, I'm going to have to manufacture some holders for this thing, so it's not going to get done in this video, but we can set it in here and get it mounted in and to where it's not going to go anywhere. Boy, look how much more room is in front of that motor. Woo-hoo. That's going to be nice. Bottom hose fit right on. We got a vacuum deal right here that I want to pull out, and that's where we're going to put that sensor. Okay. I want to get me another clamp for that hose if I got one. Going to shake, rattle, and roll. That wind is just getting after it. There's my screwdriver. Of course, it's not the right one. Okay. Now remember, all of this is temporary because I am going to be putting, I'll be putting the aftermarket overflow bottle, but I mean, this one's still in good shape. I've got one off the other car which is in even better shape, but I think just an aluminum overflow bottle mounted right in here, one would take up kind of some of the room in this engine bay, plus it would just look really good. There we go. Well, if I had some mounts on the top, that radiator would be in. I want to get my funnel. start pouring me some antifreeze into this thing, because with winter coming on, if for some reason or other I don't get around to getting this motor in, I don't want this one to freeze. Now I'm not going to, you know what, we'll start with antifreeze. This is full concentrate, so I'm going to have to chase it with some water. Make sure we ain't got nothing leaking yet. If I can hit the funnel. That's a little over half a gallon. Chase it with some distilled water. Now then, I'm just going to leave this radiator open for the moment, and I should kick myself because I did not put that sensor in before I did this. Oh my goodness. Silly me. Come on now. It never wants to cooperate. Never, never. Okay. Everybody cross your fingers that I can do this. Okay, got that done. Whew. I was like, oh boy, this is going to make a mess. I made a little bit of one, not much. I still had enough antifreeze to fill it right to the top. Yes. Okay. I'm actually going to let that sit there with the cap off. Let the fluid equalize on its own. And we'll get back with it as soon as I get my other parts in. Alrighty now, before anybody starts crucifying me for cutting up a perfectly good fan shroud that I could sell and move on to the next one, it is broke right here. So I'm going to use this as a temporary holder. I want to probably get me an aluminum one or fabricate one myself for when I get the other engine in. But for right now, this will work just fine. And you're wondering what I'm doing. I'm going to take the cutoff saw, and boy did I already mess up. Oh my lands. You know what, that's okay. That's okay, we'll make it work. I'll just drop it back to behind this line. Oh my goodness. Nobody's perfect, nobody's perfect. I think that's my theme song here lately. Go over here and get my pencil and straight edge. Oh, that's what I get for getting in a hurry. Been too long since I've been out in the shop playing Santa Claus. There we go. That looks better. All right, time to make some noise. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Our little ground wire right here, this little loop they put is a big no-no. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut them. These wires are going to go to our switch down here on our motor. These are what connect the or make the circuit when it gets to 165 degrees. Now that being said, you need to run a 160 degree thermostat with this system in order for it to be correct. So what I'd mentioned earlier that I thought that was 180 degrees. No, it kicks back off at 185. Or kicks on at 185, kicks back off at 165. So when the the engine starts heating up, it kicks on at 185 and then kicks off at 165. Yep, that's correct. Okay. Trying to do two things while I'm talking, and it's kind of hard sometimes. Alright. See if I got enough in there. That one's good. That one's good. Alright. As I said, I'm cutting plenty of wire because I'm just doing this temporarily until we get the other motor in and I know how I'm going to run my wiring harness. Since this is just a ground switch on the relay, it's not going to be pulling a whole lot of amperes. So we can do this, run them together, and then run to that switch, because all you need is the trigger to turn it on. Yep. Come on now. Get on in there. There you go. Okay. Since that is going to stay like that, I want to go get my torch and we're going to suck that down. Those are good. Have not put my fuses in yet. I went ahead and wired my, ooh, that's still warm, that together to go hook onto the battery. Now then, our blue wires go to the blue wires on the fans. I'm going to have these relays right here. We've got blue wires on the fans. Let's see. We'll cut them right here. That'll give us plenty of room. That one went to Davy Jones's locker, right into the coolant pan, of course. Now, I'm going to be taking the front fenders back off the car. And we're going to be, I think I'm going to do a serpentine belt system on the new motor. Get rid of the multiple belts. Get me a newer style air conditioning compressor on here. This has been converted to the correct coolant already. So the new compressor should just hook right up, do just fine with it. I think it'll just be more simple to deal with, get it on the correct side of the motor, make it look a little more streamlined. You'll notice I always cut my cut my wires a little bit long. I'm going into these heat shrink deals. It really doesn't matter, but it makes sure I get a full connection in between the two in there. Those are wired up. The white wires go to a switched ignition source. So I'm going to have to find out where we have a switched ignition on this side of the car. And we'll attach those here in a second. These go to the battery. This one will go up here. So let's now I did order another kit for the oh yeah, it's good and tight, for the to have a second relay on this thing. So I got another switch for the coolant, which is not going to be necessary since we're running both on the hooking them together. Now it is possible, if you wanted to, get you another switch with a little bit of higher, temperature range, say 180. So when it hits 160, one fan kicks on. When it gets a little bit hotter, both fans kick on. That way you kind of got a dual fan system. Now I'm going to just run this wire right through here for right now. When it goes on the other one, it will be hidden, and you will not see this thing except going right into the deal. Let me go grab another zip tie. There we go. That's out of the fan. Those are wired. Okay. And this wire here, I'm going to take to this ground right here. Make sure we got plenty. That ground wire's been nipped off. There's that one. Pretty sure that'll be a 10. Yep, right on the money. I know this looks like a jumbled up mess, but I promise I know where every wire goes. Alright, I need to hook this to the battery. Good question how to do that. Let's see what I got over here. Okay. For purposes of this video, we're going to have to do something I don't like doing. There. Okay, that's attached. Now then, we need a switched that's constant hot. On the key. We're going to call that a good constant hot. And as I said before, this is for temporary purposes. I'm going to go through everything on this car. Okay, now we got it. These are 30 amp fuses. Regular push in bus fuse. Okay, I'll check if I have hot wires. We are hot. We are hot. Okay, that's out of the way, that's out of the way. Now then, alrighty, to check and make sure that we have got everything set up right, we need to jump this wire to a ground to see if the fans will kick on. If the fans will kick on, that means I did my job right. Everything is wired up as it should be. and we'll do an overview of this video. All right, drum roll please. Wow, those boogers move some air. We doed it. We doed it. I didn't want to put the manufacturing and the process of putting this in. I want to find me another nipple here that's got a 90 down at the bottom, so this is not quite as a tight bend. So we're going to do a little bit of working on this, and in the next video you'll see it mounted in real nice. And the wiring and stuff, as I have said, it is all temporary. This is going away. We're going to have just a nice open wheel well right here. I'm going to get another one of these to put over here for my windshield washer bottle. And I'm going to get my 350, which is sitting over there, gasket kit laying on top of it. We're getting parts together for it. It's about ready. And I am going to do a serpentine belt system in here. Get the air conditioning over on this side. That way it's out of the way. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about the Alloyworks replacement radiator. And I want to tell you something. You saw me cut and use the original fan shroud for the holders. That does it just fine. And I mean, it was a simple install. Now, if I didn't put the overflow bottle in, that would have just plugged right up. Boom, you're ready to go. And the wiring, very simple. One thing they don't do, they send you one relay setup. I went ahead and ordered another one. That way, each fan has its own relay. And there's another video that said that that is the best way to do it because his wires were getting hot sometimes. No fault of the company. That's just something they haven't addressed yet, and I'm sure they will. But as far as I'm concerned, this Alloyworks radiator is pretty daggum nice. I'm really looking forward to getting it out on the road and seeing exactly how well it does. I have no doubt in my mind it is going to perform better than the original. So, thank you, Alloyworks, for giving me this opportunity. I want to continue buying your products. I've got some more projects we're going to be using it in. We're going to be putting it in the 53. That is going to be going on the sidelines for a while, but we'll be getting a radiator from them for it. And possibly for the T-bucket build. Stay tuned for that. But for the money and for the quality. And I want to tell you, this is quality. That is some of the thickest aluminum, very good welds. I think Alloyworks is one of the best aftermarket radiators out there. Guys, give them a call. Tell them Santa sent you. Thank you. We'll have the links below. We'll have them spread out through the video. But y'all have a good day, and we'll see you next time on Santa's Workshop.